Welcome to the Slice of Time Street Photography Podcast. Today I'm joined by Melik Alperen, a street photographer from London, originally from Istanbul. His work speaks to me because of his approach to getting close to his subjects without really interfering. So, hey Melik, could you
Hello.
perhaps introduce yourself for a second?
I'm Melik Alperen. I'm from Turkey. I'm based in London now, but I'm originally from Istanbul. I'm taking photographs since I was 11. Why I entered photography was because my dad always took pictures when we go to holidays. He always took underwater photography, landscape photography. So it always amazed me how my dad took pictures, and when I look at those pictures, it was like giving me um, how can I say, good feelings. So then my mom first bought my camera when I was like 11 years old, like when I first started photography. And then I always went out to take photographs with my dad. We went to holiday. I took underwater photography as well. So now nearly like 15 years, I'm still taking photographs. I still love it. So that's how I started. So
Cool. And so it's
yeah.
like 15 years of photography just like
Yeah.
on the side, or just like as a hobby,
Like,
or yeah.
I did as a professional work as well. So I worked as a trainee photojournalist for nearly 2 years here in London. I shot some model photography. Like I had work in that area a bit, but now I'm going to study university in graphic design. So we will see what's going to happen. But I'm like 100% I want to be in photography business as well. So because yeah,
Okay, cool. So it's like you're going to study a different visual medium as well.
yeah, I love
So
art in general. To
yeah.
be honest, I always want to and really visit museums as well, and it's always to look at the paintings, the lighting. It always important to me. To be honest, I have a bit influence from the paintings generally, not from the photographs. I
Okay.
generally look at the paintings in the museums and like the greatest artists. So that's how I influenced my photography back in time. I didn't have a chance to. There wasn't Instagram that time. I didn't have a like chance to reach a photography book. So I was always looking at the paintings, and with the paintings, I learned how to compose, how to like have the light in photography. So yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And
Mm.
so do you you have more of a painterly approach, and is there like a certain uh, school of painting that you prefer, or
To be honest, no, but when I don't really like to when I first started to take photographs. I didn't really like to want to see others photographers' photo because of I didn't want to get influenced by others' visions. I just wanted to see my vision, do what I want, and so that's what I did generally. And like 2 years ago, I freezed my Instagram account too. Didn't look any photographs, just took photographs what I want. So that's like I don't know, that's my how I think. So
so you kept posting but you didn't look at it, or did you
no,
just quit
I just
Instagram?
completely freeze Instagram for 2 years. Didn't look any photographs on Instagram, didn't use social media at all. I didn't use any social media for 2 years, just took photographs. So just by my style, didn't influence by anyone. So that's what I like to do, to be honest. But now it's really now I'm back in Instagram as well. So look at others' pictures is really good as well. So to see, and I don't think that now I'm like nearly 25 years old. I'm thinking and saying to myself, to get influence is not that bad in one way, to be honest. Like you can get influenced by someone and it can be great. So why we I was like that before, but now I'm thinking differently. So we can always get influenced by someone and somebody's work. You can follow and admire someone's work, which is normal. Yeah.
And do you notice now that you really like analyze people's work, or is it just
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you're open to seeing other work and it's
Yeah,
just
I'm
like yeah.
always like Instagram, like trying to find people's work, following them. Like I'm now really interested in seeing people's work, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool. And like do you see it in your photography now, or is it do you see already that influence of coming back to Instagram,
I
or
think
did it not really?
I think I do see a bit influence too, but I don't see any problem there. So before I was generally shooting in black and white, because of because of the London weather, it's generally cloudy. I generally prefer to shoot black and white in cloudy or bad weather condition because there is no light, to be honest. So there is not much really color. So black and white keeps it really like how can I say focused. I really like to take black and whites in like dark weather conditions when it's raining. So it really gives what I want. So now like 2 years ago, I just started to take nearly like colorful photos, color photos, and it really amazed me how color can tell in photos too. Before, when I was shooting in black and white, it was always like the emotions, always the emotions. But now with color, it's interesting. You can add so much more. Like it's nearly infinitive. Like there is no. I can take photographs like sorry for that. I just, yeah,
No, no worries. Yeah,
I just forget the words that I want to tell because
that's
of my
okay. I
English.
have it
Sorry
too.
for that.
No, that's great. Fine. Like, I have it too. So the colors opened up a new like
Yeah,
spectrum of
for me,
emotions
yeah,
for you. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, that's
100%.
cool. And was it like you start using colors because you saw someone else do it, or because you just saw your own photos in color? Because I'm assuming you shoot raw then, and so it's in color anyway. But then you
Yeah,
convert it to black and white.
yeah.
But that you noticed that they worked, or
Like maybe 1 or 2 year, I just shot in black and white with in camera mode too. So I didn't shot in color. I
oh, okay,
just
and
shot
you
in black
just
and
the
white.
JPEGs. Okay.
Yeah, I did use the JPEGs, and when I went both the Fuji, so I still use the JPEGs as well with the film simulation. I don't really use RAW. When in professional work, I do use RAW, but when I go out in streets, I don't really shoot RAW. I don't really do editing too much as well, to be honest, like film simulations, because I don't really, how can I say, change the photograph that much. I don't know, it's just me or that's my thinking. So,
Hmm. No, but
uh,
there's a lot of photographers who do it like that
mhm.
as well. So like some just like
Just a
especially
bit
with yeah
contrast, maybe a bit brightness. So
yeah
that's the only editing I do generally.
yeah, but especially with Fuji because you have like the profiles in it. It's easy to make like a look to your photos and don't have to edit it. Maybe yeah, I shoot Nikon. Maybe it's possible too, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, I do have an icon here too.
Okay, yeah, I kind of like editing as anyway, so it's for me it's no issue.
With Nikon, I need to edit 100%, but with Fuji, I don't need editing generally because of the film simulations, absolutely.
Yeah, and so have like one film simulation you always use, or
It's like generally Kodachrome 64.
yeah, okay.
Generally, that's my favorite.
Okay, cool. And then you just go out on the streets, and then yeah, no, not because you can like if you look through the viewfinder, it's
Mhm.
already showing you
Yeah,
how with
with that color, yeah, it's already
yeah,
showing with that
that's
color. And
cool. That's very handy.
with digital viewfinder, it's amazing to see. For example, if you shot on black and white, you see black and white from the viewfinder, and it's amazing that you can see black and white and shoot directly
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah, that's something we couldn't do like 20 years ago or something. So that's a very good evolution. So I notice you get like you always focus on people more or less. I think yeah, usually. You seem to get fairly close. Like I see this photo of a guy lighting a cigarette. There's like these two guys walking past a wall. Is it something like you approach people, you make them notice you, or how do you go about?
um, I'm generally like always friendly with people, so always like chatting with them, always smiling. So I'm always having my camera like that, holding with my camera in my hand, or say they always see me that I'm a photographer. I'm not doing something like dodgy. I'm always like standing there as a like photographer, and they notice me. So and with that, your smiling face, they don't really see any problem. I maybe just had a few problems with taking photographs back in Nike, but it was Nikon because it was a bit like paparazzi they were seeing. I was shooting with 700 to 300 millimeter that time.
Wow.
Yeah, and when you shoot people with huge lenses, people get a bit like scared because they don't like know what you are taking off. But if you take with like small vintage camera, they don't really say anything because you look like a tourist. You smile, so you are friendly, so they don't really see any problem with that. And I sometimes say that I'm a photographer as well when I took their photograph and I show them the photograph. So they follow me on Instagram, so we always add each other and make connections, which is really nice as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
That's nice indeed. Like meeting up
Yeah.
with people that way. And so, like now, you prefer to use like a wider, smaller lens?
Yes, I when I switched to Fuji because it was fixed lens, I use one X100V because it's 23 millimeter, 35 millimeter full frame equivalent. I shot always wide now, so it's because I need to get closer to people. So it really changed my view when I was like taking photographs with Nikon, 50 millimeters, like 70, 300 millimeter. It was like I was a bit far away from people, taking photographs a bit far away. But when I bought Fuji, I needed to get close because there was no chance to stay away from people. So I went close, and it really changed my perspective of photography as well. Like color, closing to get close to people. When I switched to Fuji, I like started to use color because of the colors on Fujifilm. I noticed that it was really, really good because of the JPEGs. With the Nikon, I didn't really like the colors back on time, so I was always shooting on black and white. And because of London's weather, so when I bought Fuji, I took some trips. I went to Albania, Greece, so took some photographs, and it was like amazing color photographs for me. Italy as well. Like, and when I get back in London, I thought like I need to take more colorful photos in London too. Then I started to take color photos in London. Before that, it was always black and white for me. So yeah.
Okay, cool. And so, did it also change your approach to people? Like, because like at first you have like a long lens, so you can be like 30 meters away from someone, and now with a what was it, 23 millimeter you said,
Yeah,
or
23 millimeters.
it's like very you need to be very close. So, did it
Yeah, you
change
need to.
your way of photography as well?
Like 100%, I think it changed my photography. Now, um, I'm more into like people, more into story, more into like feelings because I'm feeling like I'm inside, I'm really close to that people. I can feel the energy. I can like see their smiling. So like to be close to people is, I think, really good way to approach to take photographs for me because it changed my mind and mood as well. Now I became more positive when I like become friendly with them, talk with them, get closer. When I was like taking far away, there was no like talking, there was no conversation. Now we always sometimes talk. There's conversation. They are smiling. So I think that's the most important thing for me now. So the emotions.
Okay, cool. And so that's what you look for while you're out on the street, like walking around and looking for people, or
Like to be honest, I worked on a project, for example, went out one day looking for umbrellas. I did some project photos too, but generally I don't have like anything on my mind. I'm just going outside, walking. I generally go outside once a week, nearly 20, 25 kilometers a day in one day. taking maybe 10 hours from morning to night. I take photographs. So once a week, yeah, on Sundays or on Saturdays, sometimes it's changing. But once a week, yeah, I spend my 10, 15 hours to photography, just walking. Sometimes, you cannot see something different. Sometimes you see something different. It's about luck. Street photography is about luck, Sometimes you see something really different. So sometimes I spend my 10 hours nearly like empty without just taking maybe 10, 20 photographs. Like maybe that's it, like 15 hours walking and nothing. So it happens
Nothing
too.
to show. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. I think a lot of people
Mhm.
will know about that. And so
Yeah.
the route you have a specific route, or is it just like at random, or how do you do your
And
walks?
to be honest, photography was always my best hobby when I was a kid. Like as I told you, I started when I was 11 years old. So it was like my friends. Photography was like my friend. I how can I say, spent most of my time in my holidays with photography. I was going out always, taking photographs. In holidays too, when I was a kid, we were going on family trips and taking photographs. So, and I started to learn editing back at that time as well, and it was always really interesting to edit and doing something by my own at that age, and it always kept me motivating. So my dad told me, you need to keep going on to take photographs, like never stop taking photographs. So I didn't lose my uh, love for photography. I always love photography and always want to take photographs until I die. So that's my favorite thing to do. When I take a good photograph, the feeling that gave me is I didn't experience in my life. I don't know how can I say, but maybe photographers will understand. So
Yeah, I know. I talked about it with in a different episode with Iris about like the high of a good photograph. Like you have a really good feeling when you've made it. So and so like you go out like 10 hours on like Sunday or Saturday, and is it like a set route you have, or do you just go out into a general direction, or how do you
like
plan these walks?
I generally want to discover new places, so always changing my routes, always seeing new places. Once, like back in time, maybe in 2020, I was generally taking the same road, but then I noticed that it was always like the same photographs, same places, so I couldn't find any differences. Then I told myself that I need to, go out to places that I don't know. So I will, then I go out and I just walk by myself without knowing any places. So just discovering. So that's now I see really different places, lots of different photographs. So which is amazing for me now. So I generally trying to discover new places. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
And
And
I think like going to other countries and traveling and taking photographs on other countries is really, really improving a photography because you're seeing a completely different environment, different culture, maybe different colors. Like everything is changing when you go to a different country. For example, my country, Turkey. So street photography is like completely different when you compare with London because of the culture there. So everything is different when you got different countries. So I always prefer photographers. Like the most important thing is, I think, traveling and seeing new places, learning new cultures, and talk with people, understand them. So that's my way to like take photography now. Mhm.
and do you like notice a difference in yourself? Like if you're in London or in Istanbul, do you like approach people differently, or do you make different photos, or is it more or less the same but just in a different location?
Like it's because of the location. I think it changed. In London, that's always tidy. So it's like how can I say, Turkey is not a rich country like England. There are some places that people are not that economically good, so the places are a bit like different than England. So you need to talk with them differently, like in the UK. So because I'm from that country as well, so to be honest, I'm more comfortable in my country. But now I'm getting more comfortable in UK as well because it's nearly 5 years in UK. But you are right. So you're always approaching differently because what you are seeing is different as well. So, and the people, the culture in Turkey, some people are a bit religious, so they don't really want their photos to be taken.
Okay, yeah.
So, for example, I maybe had lots of problem in Turkey. Maybe in London, in 5 years, I just have few, but in Turkey, in Istanbul, maybe in one day, I just get told like, can you delete that photo maybe 10 times? So
Okay, really?
yeah, you need to consider that as well. So because as I told you, like places change, people change, so you need to consider that as well. But I never have problem with deleting it because if someone doesn't like the photo that I took, doesn't want to be in that photograph, I completely respect that and completely delete and never look back.
No, okay, that's cool. But I didn't know the difference would be that big then
Yeah, there
between.
are some differences, yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
But in
Um,
Istanbul, to be honest, my hometown is a bit, and it's up to places as well. Some places are a bit religious, some places are a bit more relaxed. So if you go to religious places in Turkey, so people maybe not want to be in photographs. So it changed as well up to city where you go. So you photographers always need to, I think, do research and know the like culture and needs to learn the city and everything before I think visit. That's what I do generally. Before I visit a country or any city, I generally watch lots of like vlogs on YouTube or videos on YouTube to see how it's really the country. So what I expect, how I need to act. So it's really important for me too.
okay, yeah, so you really like if you go somewhere like new, for example, you mentioned Albania, I think. Like you really dive into the culture and okay, cool.
I visited nearly every city in Albania, like spent one day in all of them. So it was really amazing. You see like people are changing, everything is changing when it's really amazing to notice that and traveling. I don't know, it's like my passion to travel and take photographs, know
Yeah.
people, talk with them, learn their culture. I don't know, it's
And was it like
amazing
a
for me.
holiday or just like purely a photo
And
trip?
it was like for me, it was like a holiday, but I changed it to nearly photo trip. So what I do, I didn't really like swim, go to beach. I just like took photographs generally. Like I went with my brother and he like went to the beaches, swam, but I just took photographs in nearly for 3 weeks back in Albania. So that's what keeps me motivated. That's what I love, to be honest. Like lying in the beach, not for me, but taking photographs, being in the street, maybe. Yeah, I do prefer that, to be honest. That's my holiday. That's how I relax.
That's recognizable, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's and so, for example, in Albania, do you like do you notice that doing the research in advance helps you get better photos, or does it just help you get don't to not stand out too much?
Um, like to be honest, before visiting, for me, I like learn places. I see some places. I say, and okay, this place should be a good photo place. So before visiting, I generally, as I said, look from Instagram location, like what photographers took that place. So I generally try to see the place, what photographers take, what uh, are people taking. And in Albania, it was not that relaxed in London too. I took some photographs. There was a like butcher loading his like meats in the butcher, and I took his photograph, and he directly told me, "Can you delete that?" with aggressively tone. So I deleted that photo. But in UK, like I didn't really get any like aggressive behavior, aggressive. But in some countries, you need to respect that because people maybe culture is different, so it's always changing, and you need to accept and see.
Yeah, of course. There's also because like a lot of your photos are, I see. Well, you see faces, but there's also like anonymous photos. There's also like some portraits on the street, like you have like the Charlie Chaplin guy, and there's like a guy with a hat. Is it like something you ask people to pose because you in like their look, or?
Generally, it's always changing. In that Charlie Chaplin photo, like I was just walking. Already saw that guy, but I didn't want to take photo in my mind. But when I was like walking, I saw a lady coming to a Charlie Chaplin guy. The guy, I think, told her that I found your like lost phone, and there was like interesting conversation there. She was crying that she found her phone. The Charlie Chaplin guy gave her the phone. I think he found on the floor. So there was an interesting conversation, and then I chatted with them with 5-10 minutes. Then I took his photograph. Like I generally always like talk with them first and try to know them better, so then I can take the photographs. Like without knowing a person, with their face, you cannot like know how to take photographs of them, because everyone has their own story. So I always like spend time like with people that I took portraits on. Generally, minimum, I think I speak like 5 minutes with them, always trying to know them. So that's my way to take portraits on street generally. Like there was a homeless guy. I was taking a photo in Camden Town. There was a homeless guy close to me, and he wanted to buy me a beer. I told him, yeah, I can buy you a beer, but I wanted to take your photograph. And he told me, okay, you can take my photograph. I went to a shop and got him a beer. So we just sat there and talked 15-20 minutes about his life. And I took his photographs. Like that's how I approach on portraits on the street generally. So with knowing people, learn their story. Yeah.
Yeah, and really take your time with them, because 20 minutes is that's plenty. That's cool.
I just don't like see it as a photo, to be honest. It's like a story. It's like a documentary. I don't know how to explain, but for me, I'm trying to show his life from just one photo, like maybe from his looking, maybe from his face. So it's looking at photos, I don't know, it's really, really amazing feelings. Like when I go back and look at those photos, I remember that we talked with him. It was a nice moment. So yeah, nice memories behind.
And do you like take one photo of them, or is it like a few minutes that you take several shots?
I generally do not try to disturb them, so maybe just take maximum 5 photos. So it don't take more than like 30 seconds, 20 seconds maybe, because like if I take more than 30 photos, 50 photos, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, they are going to, I think, feel a bit strange, because I want it to be natural. If you like take more than 1 minute or 30 seconds, they are going to maybe pause. So I don't really want that as well. So I'm just trying to take it naturally, just 5 photos maybe. And if it's nice, it's nice. If it's not, I cannot do anything. So I don't go and ask him again that can I take your photos. I don't try to disturb anyone too.
No, I get it. Yeah, that's nice. And like in general, do you like roam around the streets a lot, or are you like is it like, are you a fisher or a hunter, if you know those separation in street photography? Like what direction do you lean?
Can you ask that question again?
Okay, so like in street photography, you have like hunters and fishers. So fishers are people that like sit in one place waiting for the right person to pass by, and hunters like they.
Yeah.
And it feels like, because you like one way you say like you talk to the people for at least 5 minutes, so that's like fisher leaning, but at the same time you say like I only take like 5 photos of them, which is like maybe more a hunter approach. So I'm curious to.
Yeah, as I was going to say, I think like mixed. I do hunter, like I do sometimes do that as well. Sometimes I'm finding a spot, waiting there like 20 minutes, maybe taking like 10, 20 photographs, waiting for someone. If there's a good lightning, sometimes there is no one passing by. I spent more than 10, 15 minutes by maybe just for one photo, and nobody's coming in. Sometimes it happens too. But it's like changing too. For example, if in London, in busy street, you need to be like really fast. You cannot really wait for people's reaction. So you need to always be close to them. So always wide open eyes, try to see what's happening around you. I don't like really listen music or anything when I go out. I always like focus on street, trying to hear what's happening around me. That's really important because one of my photographer friend actually told me I was listening to music maybe like 5 years ago when I was like taking photographs. I went out with my friend and he told me that I never listen music because it distracts me. And then I really noticed that like if you listen music, you cannot really um, I just speak by myself. You cannot really focus on the street. But when I go open wide eyes, I don't listen any music, any distraction, then I can completely focus on the street. I try to like focus on people's expressions, like are they smiling, if laughing. So it's really, I don't know, I'm really interested to see people's reactions and impressions as well. That's why I'm close sometimes. Nowadays, I'm really close to people. Like, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's actually one of the questions I ask sometimes too. Like, do you listen to music or not? But it's that's that question answered. And like, do you have like before you go out? So, for example, on Saturday or Sunday, do you have like a general idea or where you're going? Do you just leave the door and see where you go? And do you have like something like a routine you do before, like just like I don't know, like checking up on your battery, checking up on your memory cards?
Yeah.
I don't know, like choosing a lens, but it's a fixed lens,
Yeah,
right? So
now
yeah.
it's fixed lens that I use. Yeah, I generally take like two SD cards with me because I had that problem once. My SD cards were broken. That I learned my
Not
lesson.
broken, okay, not
Yeah,
filled, okay.
yeah. So that's I always like carry two SD cards with me, checking out my battery, and because of the new Fujifilm, I can charge my camera with USB-C. So I carry a power bank with me, and even when I take photographs at the same time, I can charge my camera too. So which is like it's like a phone. It's like so it's really easy for me. So I don't carry batteries with me. I just have one battery inside of my camera and just charging with my battery when. But generally, my charge is always like keeping me end of the day. But sometimes if it's a like heavy day, if it's a good day in photography, I need to charge my camera back again. I sit in some cafe, drink something, and charge my phone, charge my camera, sorry, and then go back and take photographs. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I know that the new Nikons can do that as well with the power banks. I haven't used it yet, but I have like 4 or 5 batteries. I usually only bring one and maybe a second one. Um, but it's that's a cool trick to share. Yeah,
And because I do have problem with my phone's battery too, like carrying a power bank is must for me. So yeah, that's why I don't carry camera battery. Maybe if my phone's battery would, I would maybe think differently.
do you because like I saw one of the portraits was like shot on your iPhone. Do you
Yeah,
often shoot with phone as well, or
yeah. Like I have nearly 170,000 photographs on my iPhone
just from your
since
iPhone?
just from my iPhone, and I took like 100,000 photos with iPhone XR, and I just changed now. But I have my in my gallery too. So now from 2015 to 2025, I do have 1,700 photographs, and sometimes I'll go back and I look at them. There are for me now lots of good photos, but I just need to have a time to edit and maybe see how are they. So I do have lots of, how can I say, I think photos on iPhone. Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
photos.
And do you like using the iPhone, or is it like something you try to stay away from, or?
To be honest, if sometimes, like, because I go out once a week, if something happens around me and I don't have my camera, I always like shoot with my phone too. I don't want to lose that moment. I don't care if I have a phone or I have a camera. Like I have, there is a word, like they say, the best camera is the one that is with you. So I believe that too. So it doesn't really matter for me. The gear is not really matter. So it's about the moment. So you can really maybe see a really good moment, and you maybe take. I took with iPhone 4 too. I made a project. I used my old iPhone 4, like nearly more than 10 years old, and for me that it was good results because I was, how can I say, um, focusing more on emotions and more on like moments, other than sometimes you try to take quality photos, like try to get really sharp or clear photos. But in iPhone 4 I didn't really have that, opportunity. I just took what I saw, what I feel. So it's really, yeah, interesting to work on other gear and see. But it's, as I said, it doesn't really matter. Really, for me, took good photographs with iPhone 4 too. I took with 15 pound like analog camera, film camera as well. It's really good for me too. So it really doesn't matter the camera quality or the gear for me.
Yeah. Do you enjoy analog photography, or is it something you don't really do much
Um,
anymore?
I don't really do much anymore because of the film simulation and because of the film prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy, but the film prices, for me, I think takes that enjoyment. So it's expensive for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So no, that's yeah. Film prices are a bit ridiculous, but yeah,
But for special moments, film photography like would be really good option. Not for everyday photography for me, or not for every week, because for me, as economically, I cannot really afford it, to be honest. Because I take more than maybe like 500, 600 photographs when I go out. I need maybe 10, 15 films in my pocket just to take that photos with film cameras.
like yeah, that's like easily a few hundred euros worth of
Euro,
yeah.
yeah, nearly. Yeah.
So no, I get that. Yeah. So are there maybe as a last question, are there any places you have on your wish list, like places you like? I want to go there for like street photography and
For me, I always like saw Cuba on
okay,
photographers' feed, and always amazed me because of how they live there, and the cars and the culture. Everything is like looks different when you compare with the UK, when you compare with any other world, any other country in the world. Cuba is different, and in my wish list, I want to go to like Mongolia too, because
okay.
it's really amazing for me. Like horses, mountains. For me, I really want to visit those two countries, Cuba and that country. Amazing for me. I really want to visit, and I want to visit whole world too. There is now I visited, I think, 27 countries in total. When I be like 40, I want to visit maybe minimum 70 countries I want to visit. So that's, as I said, my favorite thing, to take photographs and to visit other countries. But now, because I'm a student, I'm going to be a student, I don't have the economic thing in
Yeah,
my,
yeah.
yeah, now. But after maybe I
But
graduate,
yeah, it will come. Yeah.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
That's cool because Cuba and Mongolia are not really like very well. Cuba is a popular photo destination, but like Mongolia is It's on my wish list as well.
Interesting.
But
I didn't.
it's not very often that I hear about it. Usually it's like certain cities, usually New York or or
Yeah.
like London.
Mhm.
But it's yeah, that's cool. That's fun.
Because like I really do have a how can I say love Asian culture, and because I'm from Turkey, like there's lots of Turkic countries, maybe as you know, like Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, like Azerbaijan, lots of countries. So like Mongolia, I want to visit and see how like, it's really amazing. I always watch videos on YouTube and see photographs from Mongolia, and one of my dream countries, as I said, yeah, amazing place.
Mm.
Always want to visit.
Yeah, I can understand that
Yeah, I'm happy that you
entirely.
want to visit. Maybe we will visit together one day.
Oh, perhaps, who knows? Yeah, that would be cool. Like
Because I didn't heard anyone want to visit Mongolia. Expect you.
it's on my wish list for about like 10 years maybe or so now, but
Same for me.
it's
Same
like
for me.
it's fairly expensive to get there, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It's there. There's not like a
Mhm.
weekly airplane going there.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're there, you need like a guide
Mhm.
and everything. So,
It's my like dream from my child, nearly like maybe more than 10 years. That's my
okay,
dream
cool.
too. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me it's Mongolia and Svalbard, but that's apparently I choose the most expensive destinations. So yeah, well, let's wrap it up there, Melik. I'm going to put all your information, like the link to your Instagram and stuff, in the show notes for people to find and follow you, because there's a lot of nice work on your profile that they need to see.
Thank you very much.
And I'm not sure if you're on any other platforms as well apart from Instagram.
I'm just on YouTube, but I just like play piano and publish my videos on that. But I don't. It's not about like photography.
Okay,
So I just have my Instagram about photography now.
but yeah, maybe people can watch your videos or listen to the music while they watch your photos. That's cool. Okay, so let's wrap it up there, and thank you
Mhm.
for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.